This is the story of Diego Maradona with Sevilla in the season of 1992 and 1993. Although it was a highly forgettable one, there is still a story to tell. After leaving Napoli after a 15-month ban from a failed drug test for cocaine, he joined Sevilla in the late summer of 92 for 5.2 million euros. Um, there was interest from Real Madrid and Marseille, but he ultimately chose Sevilla. At the time, Sevilla were a lot like Napoli back in 1984 when Maradona joined them. They're a poor club, very little history in winning trophies, haven't won a trophy in half a century, and hadn't been in the top four in 20 years. But when Maradona arrived, everything changed. He got the captaincy and was given major priority by the manager, who was, of course, the manager who won the 1986 World Cup with Maradona in Argentina, Carlos Bilardo. The team went on well for the first half of the season, and ultimately Maradona got called back up to the Argentinian squad 2 years after not being played. This was Maradona's ultimate goal. However, this was kind of the downfall as well, because Maradona became giddy and excited after that. His personal life got the better of him, and he started not showing up to training and not playing matches. He left to play for Argentina without Sevilla's permission, and that ultimately, after that, the relationship never recovered. He in his time at Sevilla, he had 29 appearances, 7 goals and 6 assists. This was quite disappointing for the expectation. However, at this time, Maradona was ultimately not at his best. He was only 31 years old, but his prime was behind him because of his demons and his personal life. However, there was some bright sparks with his best games coming against Real Zaragoza, scoring the winning penalty in his debut. A 2-0 win against Real Madrid, which was one of the highlights of the season, and a great victory against Sporting Gijon. This was a very unforgettable year for Maradona in his career, but it's a very interesting story to it. He was great in the fact that he kind of tried to do what he did with Napoli, but it ultimately didn't work out. And even though he was inspirational in he brought money to the club because the ticket sales went up and there was improved profit to the club. It ultimately didn't work out because of his demons and his personal life, but it was beneficial to Sevilla in the long run because that led them on to further success, with ultimately now them having loads of Europa Leagues. But then again, recently they've declared bankruptcy and having to sell all their players after just winning the Europa League back in June. So it's very interesting. I thought this story could be relating to what happens nowadays, and I feel like Maradona he's a very interesting character and one of the greatest players of all time, but his time in Sevilla is forgotten. But it is quite an interesting story, even though not much happened, and ultimately his demons got the best of him, even though he was an incredible footballer. Um, that's pretty much all I can say to the story. Only one season. He went back to Argentina Juniors after this, only played for them for 6 months, and he ultimately retired 4 years later in 1997. An ultimately disappointing end to his career, but it was a good one.